Hello everyone, this is Professor E. As you can see, we're going to be talking about chapter 5, the loops. So we're going to have example, and then we're going to talk about the different types of using the loop. There are different types, and we're going to use example for each one of them. As you can see, there is the while loop. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. And also there is a for loop. There's other types, but these are the most common types of loop. So let me give you an example. That's the best way we can learn. Can you see my page, like the coding area?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, that's good. Just making sure. So let's say, for example, I want to print, I like Python, for example, or working with Python or something like that. So if I just put print, it's going to be printed one time, right? But if I want to do it 4 times, I have just copy and paste, right? That's probably the first thing that comes to your mind. If I ask you, can you do it 4 times? So you're going to do something similar to this, okay? Just going to copy and paste and print it 4 times. But that's going to take a long time, right? What about if I tell you 50 times, 100 times? That's going to take a long time. So that's why there is a way to do this using the loop. So we're going to, loop is just a way to make things happen multiple times. So let's start, for example, with the for loop. So basically, you're going to start with 4, lowercase, and then you're going to use a variable that keeps counting. So for example, I can say count, okay? And then I'm going to tell the program the range. Like for example, 4 means 4 times. That means do this number of times. For example, print I like Python. So as you can see 4 times. 4 times, because 4 here, whatever number here you have, if you want it 10 times, just change the number, it will be done 10 times. So whatever statement, you may have 1, 2, or more, whatever is inside, just like the if statement, you have to indent it. So here it's the same thing. You have to indent for everything that is like, for example, I can add another one. I like Python. It is user-friendly, for example. So these 2 statements will be repeated, let's say 5 times, okay? So both of them 5 times. But if I print something from here, that's not part of the loop, right? So I can say, for example, that's the end. So end will happen only 1 time because that's not part of the loop, because I started from the left side. It's not indented. So this is one of the common mistakes people make, is when they think that it is part of the loop or part of the if statement, but it is not, okay? Remember, in Python, it's different than Java or C++, where you have the braces, the curly brackets. So in Python, they don't use the braces or the bracket, they use indentation. That's how you know, okay? So what about if I don't want to print the statement? I want to print count itself. Let's say print count, and maybe like a space. Okay, so what's going to happen if I don't use this, it's going to be just vertical. So here I'm telling the program, print what? The number count. And then by default, it starts from 0. So there are 5 numbers. If you start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because you always start from 0. Okay, now if I put, let's say, 4, that's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. Always the starting value is 0. Now somebody may say, what about if I don't want to start from 0? Okay, that's fine, but in this case you have to mention 2 numbers, the starting one and then the end. But be careful that the second number is not included, is exclusive. The first one is. So here is going to print what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is not included. And this is also one of the common mistakes people make. They assume it is included, but it is not. So if I put 5, I have only one number, so the assumption is that you start from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 5 numbers. But if I want to include a range of numbers, so I need to specify the starting value and then the ending value. But remember, the second number is not included. Okay, 2 all the way to 8. Now, if you want to do it horizontally, just add these statements. That means put space in between them. See? Or you can put any other kind of separation between them. Okay. Now, what happened if I do this? Print counts. What happened? Okay, let me start a new line so you can see it, because now it's part of the. It's like combine the last one with the one with the loop. So let me just put print. See that? So 2, 3, 4, 6. So the last value was count. That's why it was printed at the end. Print count. That means the last number. Now, what happened if I do this? Let's say I have a variable. Let's call it sum. Okay. And I want to add up the numbers. I can add up the numbers from 1 to 5. Remember, second number is not included. So what I can do, I can put sum plus equal counts. So that means basically we're adding number 1, 2, 3. So plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So now if I print, I can put the sum is sum. So that's going to give you what's the number? 1 plus 2 plus 3, that's 6, plus 4, that's 10, and then 15, right? So it will be 15 because that's the sum of all these numbers. Okay. Now, what about if I put only this? 10. Why? Because remember, we start from 0. So you are adding 0, so no difference. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Remember, you don't add 5. The last number, you don't add. Okay. So that's basically how the, or I can do, for example, let's say 10, and then I can include the if statement. I can say, don't add all the numbers, only the numbers that are even numbers, for example. So I'm going to say if counts, if the modulus, remember the percentage is for the remainder. If it is 0, that means even number, then add it. Sum plus equal count. So now it's not going to add up all the numbers, only 2, 4, 6, and 8. So now if I print, look, I'm going to start printing here. Why? Because so when you start from the left, that means you are outside the loop. But if you put it print here, you are still inside the loop. So this print will happen many times. So you need to be very careful. So this is outside the loop. Why? Because it's aligned with the for. That means that's a new statement. So now I'm going to put what is the sum? The sum is sum. So that's going to be what is 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8? And the answer is 20. Okay? So you can use if statement, or you can put if it is divisible by 3. So in this case, we're including only 3, 6, and 9. So that's 18. Okay? So this is how the for loop works. And also the for loop can also work with string. Like for example, I can put a word is computer. So I can put for every letter in what? In a word. That means basically for every single letter. So the loop goes through the numbers and also through the letters. So for every character in computer, do this. Maybe print. And then I'm going to print them horizontally. So that's going to print letter. Okay. So that's going to print font. See that? Computer, every letter was printed separately. So letter refers to C to O, M, P, U, T, E, O. Okay. Or I can do it different way. Okay. There's one way. Or I can do the following. I can tell I'm going to use the index, which means for every x, let me call it index, in len. Remember len? Len is the length of the string, right? In this case, it's 8, okay? Because it has 8 letters. And then I will print, see? Instead of like printing the letter, I'm printing this is the string. Remember we used the score, remember like the last week, we talked about string? So I'm gonna put word index. So index in this case starts from 0. Word 0, that's C. So index does not refer to the letter anymore. Let me put them side by side so you can see the difference. For every letter in a word, here I'm talking about the letters, okay? So the letter refers to what? To C, O, M, P, U, C, E, R. Now here I'm referring to the number, to index, because every letter, like C, has index 0. It's like a seat number. It's like a position. And O is 1. So I'm telling the program, word 0, that's C. Word 1, that's O, and so on. It's the same thing. It's just a different way to do the same thing. So if I run, you're going to see the same thing. Computer, let me see if I get an error here. See. So I have for index and len word. So that's 8 print a word index. Is int object is not iterable. Oh, okay. Let me do it a different way. So in oh, I have to put a range. Range, then you put it. Remember like what we did at the beginning? You put range. So I forgot to put that. Okay, you cannot just put the link directly, you have to put a range. So now it should be working just like the first. See, I got computer twice. So when you are dealing with numbers, you put range. You have to put a range, okay? And len word is 8. So now word 0 and so on. Okay? So that's how we use the for loop, remember? So it's gonna make more sense, or we're gonna talk a lot about the loop when we cover the list. I think that's chapter 7. Because usually we use the loop to traverse a list, like when you have like a bunch of numbers or a bunch of elements or string, and you want to go over like one at a time, and then to look for something, to search for something. So it makes more sense, okay? But here, at least you know how the loop works. So this is the for loop, okay? Now I'm gonna switch to the while loop. There's an alternative. So somebody may say, if it's the same thing, why do we have to talk about two? One is enough if it gets the job done. And you are right, but there are some situations when it is preferable to use one rather than the other. And I'm going to tell you why. And generally speaking, the for loop, we use it when we know exactly how many times, like 5 times, as you can see, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, and so on. We use the for loop because that's limited. But what about if I don't know how many times? Like, let's say, for example, I give you just an example. Let's say I want to go to the ATM machine, and then I'm going to try. They're going to ask me to enter the ATM number, right? The PIN number. Now, if I remember the PIN number, it's going to take me one time and find it. What about if I try? I just forgot. How many times is it going to take me to figure out what the PIN number? So you're going to keep receiving the same message, wrong PIN number. Please try again. How many times? It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 1,000. I don't know. But we don't know. Why? Because it depends on condition. As long as the PIN number you enter, the four-digit number, so as long as it does not match, you're going to keep receiving the same message. I think that's a very good example we can use, okay? So let me show you this example. Let's say the PIN number, the real one, I'm just going to come up with 46352. Okay? So this is the real one. When you run the program, you don't see it. Like when I run the program, say you don't see anything at the bottom. So this is like hidden, maybe in a hidden file in the bank or something. And then I need to ask the user, the one who's going to go to the ATM machine, you, me, So I'm going to call it guess because I don't know if this is the real one or not. So I'm going to put int input. Remember, we learned how to get input from the user. If it's a string, so if I consider this as a string, then I don't have to put int. But since it is 4-digit number, I'm going to treat it as a number. So I have to use int. And then I'm going to put enter your PIN number. Now to help the user, to help the customer, because they may forget what PIN number is. They may think it's a password. No, that's not a password. It's just like a 4-digit. So I'm going to put here just to help them 4-digit number, something, just to remind them that it's only 4-digit number. Okay, now I have to, so the ATM machine, if I guess it, if I guess it correctly, 6352, then that loop is gonna run only one time. That's it. It's gonna check. That's it. Okay, you are successfully, you have, successfully logged into the system. Thank you. And then they will give you the options. You want to check your balance. You want to make a deposit. You want to make a withdrawal and stuff like that. So in this case, I cannot use the for loop because usually for loop, if I know how many times, I don't know. So we use something called while loop. So I'm going to tell the program as long as the numbers, the real PIN number, which is PIN, and the one that I'm using, guess, as long as they don't match, that means they are different, right? Because if they are the same, then that's going to stop the loop. Why? That's because you got it correct. So as long as it's different, you're going to keep receiving this message, right? Print, sorry, wrong PIN number. Please try again, or something like that. Please try again. Okay? Okay. And then you're going to give them a chance again, which means I'm going to repeat this. Why? Because they need to see the message again. Okay. So I'm going to copy it and put it here. So this will give them a chance to enter another number. Okay. That means enter it again. So that's a loop. Keep trying. Enter PIN number. Okay. Sorry, wrong number. Please try again. And then it's going to keep trying. So for this one, we don't know. It may keep going forever. Usually, like in most banks, like the one I go to, they give you like a limit. Most of them, for security reasons, for safety and security reasons, they would probably put like a maximum, maybe 3. In my bank, I think 5 times. If you try 5 times and you didn't figure out, they will lock your account. They will block it. They will probably ask you to call number 1800 to check your credential. Are you the right person or not? So you're not going to keep going forever. They will count how many times. And if you exceed the number, they will stop. Let's run the program and see. Look, I'm going to run the program. Look, it's going to say, enter your PIN number. Let me fix it here. Make sure that we have. So put you, and then maybe like put a little colon here. Let me just stop it and add that here. So this will have space. All right, so let's run the program. It's going to say, oh, oh yeah, I have to put this one inside before I close. Okay. So enter your PIN number. So let's say I'm going to say 4213. So the program is going to check, is the PIN number different than guess? Yes, because 6352 is different than 5213. So that means this condition is true. They are different. So you're going to get this message. When I hit the enter key, it's going to say, sorry, wrong PIN number. Please try again. And then it's going to ask you to try again. So you're going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 2, 5, 6, 3. No. So this is going to keep going forever until you find. When I enter the right one, 6, 3, 5, 2, then it's going to stop the program. See? So usually, like I'm going to put here, for example, print, congratulations. You are now logged. Because there is no way you're going to get to this statement until you get out of the loop. And the only way you can get out of the loop if they are the same, because as long as they are different, because the best translation for while is as long as they are different, you're going to keep getting these two messages, which means if it is false, that means they are the same, that's going to automatically exit the loop. And what do you have after the loop? You have this statement. So this statement is not going to happen unless you get it correctly. So let's try it. Let me just close this one so that, close. Okay. Enter your pin. Oh, I forgot to close this. Yeah. All right. So let me try. Run the program. Enter your pin number. Okay. So 2541. Sorry, wrong number. Try again. 36598. So that's gonna keep on the same thing. See why did it have okay. Congratulations. Please. Let's see. Why do we have this? I want to do it in the next line. Inputs. Okay. Try again. All right, so run the program. 2563. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, wrong pin number. Please try again. And I'm gonna try again. 6314 2589. So once you hit the right one, 6352, now these two numbers match. So they are not different anymore because it says while they are different. They are not different, that's gonna exit the loop. So when you hit the enter key, it's gonna go to the last statement. Congratulations, you are now logged in. Okay, so everybody knows now the difference between the while loop and the for loop. While loop, when your loop depends on a condition. And the for loop, we don't use the condition. Oh, wait, we do that's the condition, but it's already fixed number. That's why we put range 5, 6. That means how many times. So most of the time, we use for loop when we know ahead of time how many times the program should be running. If we don't know, like in this case, then we use the while loop because it's more convenient. Okay. I mean, you can still use the other one, but you have to add more stuff. It's like it's not easy to use just like while loop. Okay. So let's have another example. And by the way, you can limit it to number. Let's say that ATM machine, you don't want to keep going forever. You can have a number count. So every time you give them a chance, that counts. So maybe I can start from 1, but that's the first time it already counts. And then I keep keeping track of how many times. Count plus equal 1, that means, okay, now 2 times, now 3 times, now 4 times. So here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell the program, while the number don't match, and, or I'm gonna say, or, so I'm gonna put or, that means either this, or the count is less than 3, for example. I may put equal depending on how we want it. So that means either as long as the pin number don't match or count is less than 3, keep doing this. That means if count is higher than 3, then it should exit the loop. Okay. I think I should put count. As long as they are not matching and the count is less than 3. Okay. So now let's try it and see if we exceed 3, what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna try 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first one, that's 1 time. Okay, let me try again, 2, 3, 5, 6. Say now I'm gonna try for third time and see what's gonna happen. 6, 5, 4, 7. Once I hit the enter key, see, it's gone. So of course, I'm not supposed to say congratulations because that's congratulations only. So I'm gonna put here only if the count is higher than 3. Equal than 3. If it's less than 3, if it's less than 3, then you see congratulations. That means if it is not 3, that means you exceeded the number of times. So here I'm going to put, I think probably it's better to put it in some. Let me try. So I'm going to put here, if the number, that means the count is less than 3, that means, yeah, I would probably put it outside because that's, outside. So if count is less than 3, congratulations, else. Because like once you exit the loop, there are only two situations, two scenarios. Either you figure out what the number is in less than 3 times, and that's going to be, you are logged in successfully. Or you exit the loop, not because you did figure out what the number is, but you exceeded the limit. So that's why I'm going to put else here. That means else print, I'm going to say you exceeded the limit. Of the limit, please call, and then I'm going to mention like a number or something they can call 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, 7, something like that. Okay. So because that's the only two options you have left if you exceed the loop. Okay. That's why I put while the number pen doesn't match guess and count is less than 3, keep giving them more chances. That means if one of them, either he did figure out what the pin number is or exceeded them. So let me try it and see. See here, of course, here we forgot to put colon after F statement, just like the. Oh, okay, now remember, enter the number. Now keep counting. So the real number 6352. I'm going to 3214. Hit the enter key. Sorry, wrong number. Now it's going to give you a second chance. 2589. Okay. So now let me get the correct one. Okay. Just that, to look at different scenario. So if I put 6352, it means the first one is false. That means the number match. Okay. But the count is still less than 3, which is 2, right? So it's going to give me congratulations. See? You see? Let's see here. Oh, I have to part it probably have to put here. Let's put equal. So let me try. So I'm going to put here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 2, 3, 5, 6. Let me put the right one. 6, 3, 5, 2. Oh, it says if it is okay. So I try into the 6 to the, and it says sorry, you exceeded the limits. If it's less than 3, congratulations. Oh, got to put equal here. Okay. So let me try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me put the right one. 6, 3, 5, 2. Congratulations, you unlocked it. Now what happened if I do it more than 3 times? So if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 6, 3, 5, 2. Say, oh, congratulations. Oh, because I put the right one. Oh, let me try one more time, but without putting the right one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7, 4. Okay, 4, 7, 8, 9. 2, 5, 8, 7. Say sorry, exceeded the limits. Now it's working. Anyway, so this is how the for loop and the while loop works. Okay. Any questions before we have an example of what about if you have a loop inside another loop? Now, you may not get a lot of questions about this, probably very limited, but it's good to know how the nested loop works. So I'll give you an example here about that. So a nested loop, when you have a loop inside another loop. So I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say, for example, I'm going to put 4 x in range. Let's say 4. Okay. I want to print stars. Star. Okay. So how many stars is going to be printed? 4 stars. Let me put it horizontally. So see that. And so that's going to print 4 stars. Okay. Now my question to you, what about if I want to print this 4 stars 5 times? 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars. So since this one is all with the 4 stars, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this inside another loop. So let me just copy it like this. And then, or just cuts. And then I'm going to put the 5 times 1. So let me call it I in range 5, right? That means whatever is going to come, do it 5 times. Well, I want that first loop. See? Now I just have to make sure I fix it. See? So this will print 4 stars. How many times? 5 times. The only thing I need to do, I need to make sure, because if I run it, everything will be in one line. I don't want it this way. See that? I want every time I print 4 stars, I want to start a new line. Now my question to you, where shall I put print? Because I need to put this. Because this will start new line. Where do you think I should put this? So every time I finish 4 stars, it starts a new line. What do you think? Where should I put that? I don't want to have all the stars in one line. I want 4 stars. But remember, this will print 4 stars every time. So where do you think I should put print? So that's going to start a new line, another 4 stars, start a new line. Where do you think I should put that? If you know where I put it, then the nested loop should make sense to you. Any idea? Alexia, do you have any idea? Virginia? Where do you think I should start new line? Okay, let's forget about where shall I start a new line? Where? After I finish the 4 stars, which means at the end, which means somewhere in here, because that's the end. So that's going to start new line. Print, just like this, would start new line. And then, because remember, X, so I finished the first stars. So what is next? The next number now, okay? If this one is 1, so the next number is 2. And then you're going to print 4 stars. And this print will make sure it starts new line. Sorry. So when I run it, see that? So now every time I finish 4 stars, I start new line, and then I go to the next value of the outer loop. So this is the inner loop. This is inner loop. And this is outer loop. Okay? For this to make more sense to you, let me do this. Let's say I'm not going to put the stars. I'm going to put I. So I is this value right here, right? Okay. To change it, because, okay, this one is going to include 0. So look what's going to happen. So for the first value is 0, right? Range 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and that I will stay 0 until x comes to an end. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then the next value for I is 1. And then it's going to start over. 0, 1. Let me run the program so you can see. Of course, I want to start new line so you can see it. Print. So now if I run the program, see that? 0, because I will stay 0 until the inner loop comes to an end. 0, 1, 2, 3. Now it's time for I to be 1. 0, 1, 2, 3 for x. Then the I will change to 2. Then to 3. Then to 4. You see that? So this will kind of help you make sense of this. Now what happened if I put x? So now I'm using this. So when I equals 0, x will change to 0, 1, 2, 3. Now I is 1. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. How many times? 5 times. See that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's basically how the nested loop works. Okay. So most of the questions will be about one loop, but if you understand how the mechanism or how the the inner loop, outer loop works. The most important thing is the inner loop does not look, the outer loop, which is the big one, does not move the value of the variable that we use in the outer loop, does not change value until the inner loop comes to an end. Did you hear me say that? Okay, let me repeat this. The I, in this case, does not change from 0 to 1 until x is complete. That means the inner loop comes to an end, to conclusion. 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I change the number, let's say here 1, comma. So now I, the first value is not 0, it's 1. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will be 1, but it's going to stay 1 until x finish 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's why when I put I here, you're going to see 1, 1, 1, 4 times, then 2, 2, 2, 4 times, and so on. You see that? So another way you can say, I'm not sure if you are familiar with Excel, Microsoft Excel. That's going to help you because we have rows and then you have columns. So basically this will take care kind of the rows, how many rows we have, okay? That's why we have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember 5 is not included, 4. But if I put, let's say 7, that's going to be 6 rows. See? You're going to see 6 rows. So the first loop, the outer loop, basically will cover the rows, and the one inside is basically the columns, how many columns we have. So if I put here, let's say, as I put 10, so that means 10 rows. See that? 10 rows. So that's an easy way to look at it, okay? That may help, okay? So that's pretty much the for loop and our loop. Let me see here if you have question about the programs that you have here and see if we can, if you have questions about this. Remember, next week we have the midterm. There is a midterm review. That's going to help you a lot because, you know, I try to summarize everything and include everything that will be included in this midterm. So make sure you go over that. All right, so let me see what questions you have about the loops. See, so this is basically the first one is just basically a simple practice. We did it a few minutes ago. So write a program that prompts the user to enter their name. So you're going to use input and the number of times their name will be displayed. So the second one will be an integer, right? And then you're going to use the loop. It doesn't really matter. You can use the for loop or the while loop, okay? So if you use the for loop, you just have to use for, okay? For x in range. Now here, you already have the number. So let's assume that the number is 5, for example. Okay, of course, you're not going to assign a value. You have to get the input from the user, right? Using int and input. So you're going to put 4x in range. So you said 5 times, you just put 5. Okay, so what do you want to put? You want to put the name. So you're going to put here, let's say, assuming David is the name. And again, you're not going to assign a value like this. You are going to ask to prompt the user to answer that. And then you're going to print, that's it. Print what? Print the name. So that's going to print it 5 times, 10 times. If you want to do it horizontally, you just have to add the and. Now, if you want to do the same thing using the while loop, the same thing, you may have like probably a counter. So let's say count, okay? Starting from 0. So I'm going to put here while count is less than or equal. If you want to do it 5 times, less than or equal than 5, keep printing, print name. And then you keep increasing that variable until it reaches 6. So if it reaches 6, that's it, 5 times. Okay, I'm sorry, maybe here starts with 1. So that's going to be 5 times. So when it gets to 6, that's it. We did it 5 times, and then it should be done. So let me run it and see. Oh, we don't use this in Java and C++, we use plus, but in Python, it doesn't accept that. You have to put it this way. So there are a lot of things that are the same, but there are some specificities. Sometimes like certain things you can find them only in particular language, and this is one of them. So Python does not accept plus plus. See that? See, this is 5 times. This is 5 times. Just be careful here. If this is 5 times, it's just this David is supposed to be the first one. So that's why I'm gonna put prints. It will start a new line, so it don't get confused. See, and then maybe do the same thing. And all right, so that's gonna be look, David 5 times, whether you are using the for loop or the while loop. Okay. And this is the same thing. You're going to prompt the user to enter 2 numbers, basically the first and the last one. And then you're going to print all the numbers in between. Okay. So here you have the choice. So you have the first number. Let's assume this is the first. And of course, again, you're not going to assign numbers like this. You have to get them from the user. So if you put, let's say 2 is the first number, and then the last number is 8. So you want to print the numbers from 2 to 8. What we're going to do, as long as first is less, right? First is less or equal than last. That means you're going to keep printing the name or the number first. Yeah, print first, for example, and then you keep increasing. It's like first is getting closer. First. So this is one of the ways. You can do it in many, many different ways. So here I'm going to change in first. So I'm start with 2. And then by adding 1, it becomes 3, 4. As long as the number is less, that means I did not get to 8. Or as long as it is less or equal, that means once it gets to 9, 9 is not less or equal than 8, so it's going to stop. So this will print the numbers, as you can see, from 2 to 8, everything in between. So this is one way. You can do it in for loop pretty much in the similar way. Okay. So this is something that we just did a few minutes ago. It will calculate the sum. Okay. So we said you have to variable to have the variable, assign it to 0, and then keep adding sum plus equal, and then the variable. And then at the end, but you have to keep track of how many numbers. So you may want to assign another variable to keep track. Okay. Start from 0 and then keep incrementing that variable. That's gonna keep track of how many numbers you have. Okay. Just do the best. Look, all these programs, most of them are for completion grade. I just want you to try, get your hands dirty with the programming coding. That's how you learn. So it's not about getting the answer correct. That's why I really, really appreciate if you try your best, even if you cannot get the program to work. I'm okay with that. But give it a shot. Try your best. Challenge yourself. Try to, to do the best you can. And if you get stuck, or you need to ask for help. Or if you don't get it the same day, that's okay. Give yourself time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe try. So that's how you're going to learn. Don't look for shortcuts, okay? Just try your best and see, okay, how can you cannot even imagine what kind of satisfaction you will get after a long struggle, and then you were able to figure out how the program works. That's amazing achievement, amazing feeling. Okay, so all we're asking, just try. Don't look for shortcut. I want you to get something out of this class. Okay, whatever you can, that's how you learn. Remember, in computer science and programming, you learn only that much. Don't expect to learn. Or every time you learn little, and then it keeps adding up. Okay, that's how you learn. So that's why some people, they get frustrated because they're expecting to learn a lot in a short period of time. It's not going to happen. Okay, it's slowly. So that's what. So give yourself time, and then because that's how people learn, especially in computer science. Okay, so that's program assignment A7, 8. So 8, as you can see here, now I'm not going to say I cannot use for loop, but it is better to use the while loop here, because here, write a program that generates a random number between 0 and 100. Okay, the program prompts the user to enter a number continuously until the number matches the randomly generated number. Okay, so basically we're going to generate a random number. The program will generate a random number between 0 and 100. And then you're going to try to guess what that number is. So let's say the program guess 35. So you're going to say, guess a magic number between 0 and 100. So the program, let's say they choose 150 randomly. Or let's say, unlike in this case, 39. So you're going to try. You're going to say, get 50. So of course, the program will compare 50 to 39. It's going to say, your guess is too high because 50 is higher than 39. So you're going to try to go down. So you're going to put 25. Well, that's too low. So the program is going to say, you're going to keep comparing the number. So you're gonna have two numbers. So there is one number that's a random number, a random number. So you're gonna have a random number generated by the computer, and then a number input by the user. So you need to have that. Okay. So we have, let's say, call it, guess int, and then inputs. Enter. So let's assume that the number, as I said, we're going to use like a random number. You need to find out how to get with. It's I think, was it like from the last chapter? Yeah, one of them is how to get a random number by the user. I think it's with it. Let me see. Let me call it just random. I think you have to import. Let me see. Import math, and then it should be random dot rand int. I think. So we're going to put here, let's say between 1, or you can put 0 and 100. I think that's how quick random. Let me check. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Random.rand. A random number. Okay, this one is correct. Rand int. And maybe you have to include import random. Let's see. No. Random int. Okay, I'm trying to remember what is the one that okay, I'm almost sure about this. Rand int. Now this one is, was it random? Let me find out here. So Python generates a random number. I think a rand int. Yeah, see, a random. See, import random. So no, there is a random int. Oh, that's exactly. Oh, I is not capitalized. See, I was sure it was this. It's just I lowercase. I was sure about that. So now this is the number generated by the computer, random. I called it rand, and guess is mine. Okay. So and then you're gonna put while loop. So I'm not gonna put give you the answer, but I'm just I know. So you're gonna put as long as the truth, just like what we did with the ATM. It's very similar. As long as rand is different than what? Than guess. So you're gonna put if statement. If rand is higher than guess, say this. If it is less, this. And of course, if they match, then you're gonna say, congratulations, you got it, or whatever it says in the statement. See? So you're gonna put if statement like 3 or 2. Okay. So you're gonna compare them. So you're gonna say if the guess is higher than rand, then you're gonna put print your guess is too high. LF if the rand is less. I'm sorry, if guess is less than rand, you're gonna say your guess is too low. And of course, the only option left is they are equal. So you don't even have to mention equal, because if they're equal, that's going to automatically exit the loop and you put congratulations or yes, you got it. The number is whatever the rand or guess is because they match. Okay, so it's going to be very, very similar to the ATM. Just have to add if statements here. All right. And then you're going to try this. So write a program that prints the following rectangle. We just did this a few minutes ago, right? So that's a nested loop. Okay, so here you have how many rows? 4 and then 6 columns. Okay. In case you forgot, I think I'm going to post this video so you can go over it. And then here, can you see like the number of stars keep increasing? Also, use the loop and then make that number increase from 1 to 10. So I want you to try, just try. Even if you cannot figure out, I just want you to show me that you tried your best. You're going to be learning a lot just by trying, regardless of the outcome. Believe me, just the time that you spend trying to figure out, it will increase, it will enhance your understanding and your critical thinking. But if you get frustrated after a few minutes on and then you try to look for shortcuts, you are not, no, you are, that's going to become a kind of habit. That's going to become part of who you are. Every time you try something, like before you even, you just give up and then you look for shortcuts. Don't do that. Try at least, give yourself time. Of course, I don't want you to spend too much time. Spend enough time, but no more than that. That's it. But spend enough time, just whatever you can. But don't spend too much time. I don't want to. I know I have other things to worry about, but I want you to try your best. So that's pretty much the programs that you have. Thank you so much for people who took time to be here. Please let me know if you have any questions. So I'm going to stop the recording. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to